Hello, let's talk about 1099 forms. And 1099 forms are the tax forms that business owners love to hate. They can often cause a bit of a pain at year end as you're preparing them. But I want to share some tips for getting set up with the 1099 process so that maybe when it comes time at year end to prepare these forms, it's a little bit easier on you. So let's talk through briefly what 1099s are. A 1099 form is a tax form that you send both to your vendor and to the IRS, and it's for any payments that you've made to vendors for services that are $600 or more. So there are some exemptions to this, but that's the general criteria, is that for any vendors that you've paid for services $600 or more, you have to issue them a 1099. And I'll briefly discuss some of the exemptions, and there are a lot, so this list isn't exhaustive. But if you pay a vendor on a credit card, if you pay them via PayPal, if you pay to a corporation, or if you pay for products, those vendors are exempt from 1099 preparation. So if you're not sure, always just issue a 1099, or you can check with your tax accountant. But it's an important process to make sure you're issuing 1099s if needed. So let's talk about some tips for getting set up for this process. Whenever you hire a vendor, before you pay them, you want to get what's called a Form W-9 from them. And I pulled it up here. You can just Google this form. Just make sure you get the IRS version. But you want to get this W-9 form from any vendors that you bring on before you pay them. So just make sure you have it on file. And then you'll just go over to QuickBooks here and go into the Expenses tab and set up a new vendor. So as you're setting up the new vendor, you can just enter the information directly from the W-9 form. So just as it's shown on the W-9 form, you can enter that here. And then you want to enter a couple other pieces of information here. So the business ID or social security number. So this is either the EIN number or the social security. That can go in here, and that's from the W-9 form. You also want to check the track payments for 1099 box. And under account number, I like to put the business structure. So sole proprietor, LLC, corporation. And again, that's from the W-9. And then the last step is to attach that W-9 form in here. So then at year end, all you really have to do is just confirm that information is still accurate for the vendor, and then you have everything you need in this vendor file. So that really just makes your life easier, I find, if you do it as you're hiring vendors. So set this up right from the beginning, and the 1099 process will be much easier on you at year end.